Alright, hello everyone, this is Derek, and I'll be going through first playthrough of Grove Grown Guardians to show off how this works. So, start off, I'll just start with save 4 for now. In this scene you can select different, you can view previous runs, and you can also select different modification options to change how the game works. Once you obtain essence and cores throughout your playthroughs, you can purchase upgrades here. But for now, I'll start off with a no upgrade run, so this will be as if I'm starting a brand new game here. Alright, so the goal of this game is to be able to protect the grove by leveling up your guardians here. And the way you do that is by purchasing and growing plants and then feeding those plants to your guardians. Additionally, you can sell plants back to the seed shop to get gold to buy more plants. And also there's the option of composting, which will give you grove energy, which you can use for different abilities down here. So for now, I'll just set these two plants up. And the thing about this field here is that you can get adjacency bonuses, which will give you bounty points. And once you get enough bounty points for stat boosting plants, you get an increase to the gold value and also the skill value of the plants. And that's for stat boosting plants. There are other types of plants, one of which is the weapon plant, and the armor plant as well has the same setup. The bounties for these plants are based on any adjacent stat boosting plants. And as you can see up top with the description, as I'm hovering over this, the bounty is gained from one random adjacent stat boosting plant and provides a percentage bonus to that stat. So for standard weapons and armor, that's a 10% bonus per bounty. And if you have a magic weapon or armor, that's a 15% bonus then. So anyways, for now, I've already purchased a seed packet from the seed shop, so I'll be ending the day here. And as the days pass, you'll see in green up here is the growth amount. So still needs 2 more days for the sprouts to grow and 1 more day for the bow to grow. And you can also see there the power icon now shows up as its bounty. So this weapon, when equipped by a guardian, will provide a boost to their power. And I'm going to purchase maybe a green seed packet here, since you can see up top it has a higher chance for rarer plants, which will provide much more stats. So we got a 2-star plant here, and a 1-star as well. So for this plant, its specific bounty is it wants to be next to unoccupied field tiles. Whereas this one gains bounty based on the average guardian rank. So right now that's just going to be 1 bounty per day. This one has free slots all around it, as you can see by the blue highlights, and it'll gain 3 bounty points a day at this rate. So again, that's another day done. Something you can do with these weapons then is you can either equip them or choose to sell them. Right now, I personally prefer selling these plants early on, but early on they can provide a pretty big boost to your guardian's stats, because weapons affect the attack multiplier. This will put the attack multiplier up to 100% for any one of the guardians, whereas they start out at default with 60% weapon damage, and that's when they're unarmed. So already a 40% boost is pretty big. But for now, since we don't have enough money, we're starting off the game, I'll choose to sell this, because we can get even higher level plants, hopefully. And now, after that, there's a low chance to get rare seed packets after purchasing one. So this one has a chance for legendary and evolution plants. Well, these only go up to rare, but we still need more money to get that. Alright, and these ones gain bounty by being next to a rare or higher plant, so luckily we just got one of these as well. We can set it up like this, so they're both getting bounties now. Alright, now at this point we have a power plant that's grown up, so we can go ahead and feed that to someone. It might have been better if we still had a weapon to put it beside, since it still has the ability to increase what it gets from bounties. And luckily enough, we got a weapon here, so we can just leave this here and give this a little bit more time to grow. And this glow shell pistachio will give some barrier, so since its bounties are already maxed out, you might as well use it. And one thing you can do is change the color of your guardians, so I'm gonna change this one to green, try to build it as a ranged character, ranged DPS maybe, and then use this guy as a tank potentially, try to get his defense up. Alright, so here's the first encounter. It starts off pretty easily, and as you can see the stats of both the enemies and your own characters at once if you hover over them. So again, that was just the first encounter, so it's pretty easily. And as you can see, we gained 6 of this resource, which is the life essence that we can use when we go back to the menu that has purchases from the Tree of Life. But for now, we got a seed and some gold for that encounter. And these icons here are the experience icons. That means when you feed them to the plants, or when you feed them to your guardians, these plants will increase their experience. So to level up right now, they need up to 10 experience. So for now, we might want to hold this and wait until its bounty goes up further as well. So one thing you can do is buy a plant pot, and plant pots can only hold mature plants and don't give adjacency bonuses, but this gains its bounty from guardians and not any adjacent plants, so it's a perfect place to put this to hold on to while it increases in value over the days. And this one just needs one more day to max out here. Yeah, so time to get some more plants here. 2 wind leaf plants, that's pretty good. Gonna get a lot of dodge going. And they're easy to get a bounty for these since they're just based on adjacent empty slots. So now the red sprouts are grown, so we can go ahead and feed that to who I'm trying to make the DPS over here. And 2 armors. So these should hopefully be able to get us some money once they grow. Do not have a lot of money right now though. Alright, so we have some options here. I could potentially sell the mist grass, or one of these other plants here. this would give a lot of gold, but it's also got a pretty good 6% for dodge there. And that'll be really useful. I guess I'll just equip some of these real quick. Give a speed bonus to who will hopefully turn into a main DPS kind of character. And I'm gonna go ahead and sell this mistgrass so that we can purchase a seed packet today. Alright, not too bad. So this will gain bounties from the 2 adjacent weapons as well. So for now we'll keep this plant here maybe and see what we can do to get our guys upgraded here. I'll just try to keep feeding this guy dodge. Alright, another counter here. Again, it's one of the early encounters. We don't have to worry too much about these, but the next battle we should hopefully try to get some upgrades for our guardians here. And for that encounter, we got a special evolution seed, the Toxic Aura evolution seed. So once we get any of our guardians to rank 3, it'll unlock their first skill slot, and this Toxic Aura will have a 30% chance to inflict poison on hit, which will cause the enemies to lose health. 2% of their health every second for 5 seconds. For now, we need to grow it though. So I'll spend some money just unlocking an extra slot here. Something we should also do is try to maybe sell some of this stuff we got. And we can equip some stuff here too. And this will be some well-needed money if I sell this. I can sell a couple of these actually. Try to increase the dodge for this guy as well. And now we can buy a legendary seed packet, so hopefully we get something good here. Alright, that's some pretty good stuff. The speed plants are pretty good. And they gain bounty for the adjacent rare plants, so I can see if I can organize this nicely here. Alright, and this one's maxed out, so we can probably equip a guardian or give a guardian enough XP to level up shortly. Alright, and something we might want to do is try to get this third guardian in, so I might want to compost some of these plants here. And composting rare plants, or sorry, composting grown plants gives you two energy, whereas the ungrown plants, seeds or still growing plants, only give you 1 energy. So these purple slots are ones we prefer to compost then. So I'll just get rid of these 2, and now we're able to use some of our abilities, but we want to save that so we can get another guardian shortly. But for now we can level this one up. And he gets, on leveling up, you get more power, regen, and max health as well. So it's a nice boost to this character here that we're going to try to turn into the tank character. But for now, some of these weapons can be sold just so we get some money to start off with. And more weapons here. All right. And here we might want to compost a few plants and get our next guardian here. Alright, at this point the regular durian has grown, so as soon as we rank up this guy to level 3, we can maybe equip this on him. Though the durian is probably better to equip to our DPS character, but we can maybe hope before we get to level 3 we get another evolution plant that would maybe be better for our defensive character. So for now I'll sell one of these again. I'll go for one of the rare packets here. That was pretty unlucky, but it's not too bad. We had the money to afford it. Alright, now there are 3 enemies here, but we got the extra guardian, so we should be good. And again, you can pause it anytime you want to look at the different skills and stats that these enemies have. And if you press shift, you can get a description of these. Alright, not too bad there. And now we have a weapon we might want to equip to our DPS character, so I'll do that. And they get a bonus to the speed up stat, and since we have these other speed plants here, that should provide a nice bonus once we feed them to this guy. So this one's grown, but it doesn't have any bounty. If we can put any stat boosting plant beside it, it'll boost what we might get from selling it. So we can put maybe a power plant here, and it'll gain that ability. And we can definitely afford to just get another slot here. Alright, another ranged weapon here. The substats aren't great for making a DPS character, since max health is would not be as relevant because ranged characters stand at the back of the battlefield, while melee characters stand at the front. And while there are melee characters in the front line, they can only be hit by ranged attacks. So they won't get hit as much if they're ranged. So max health is not super useful for a ranged character. I'll sell it. A lot of these things here just ready to sell. So now we have a lot of money coming in here, so we can start buying the expensive seed packets. And got another speed plant here. All right. So yeah, one thing you should just have to pay attention to are the blue highlights around the slots when you're hovering over a plant. Those indicate what they get their bounty from. Oh, and one option as well is under the settings menu, you can turn tutorials on. And what that does is activate these little question mark buttons you can click on, and it'll tell you what the relevant thing does, and then from here you can tab through all the different descriptions for different mechanics here. But for now, I'll keep those turned off. Alright, and this heal berry is probably a good one to compost, since we have this group heal ability as well, which would probably be more useful. And with this mist grass, we could have one of our guys consume it just to try to get their XP up here. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. And probably try to increase the power of our DPS character here. And we can save that. And we can give this guy a ranged weapon as well. Ooh. Big dodge plant here. Yeah, and if we really need money, we can sell this durian here for 20 bucks. But doesn't seem like we need that just yet. Alright, what I might do here is compost maybe a new seed here. I'll compost this seed so that we have enough for a group heal here before we go into the next encounter. This encounter timer here shows you the stage you're going into next and how many days till that stage. So once we end this here, we'll be going into combat. And I probably want to put this weapon beside the power plant, so we can increase the power of whoever we might equip it to. But it doesn't matter too much right now. Ideally, we'll wait for maybe 3-star or 4-star weapons, and hopefully we can hold out in the encounters until then. Alright, so far so good. Alright, we got some more experience plant seeds. And at this point, too, these speed plants are done. They are maxed out on the speed stat, so we can get some nice nice speed boost going on them. So this guy will be activating a lot more now. Alright, we can use 2 of these thorn plants so that we can get bounties for this vampirism plant. Alright. Keep this here so we can get a little bit more on these speed plants. So shortly we'll be getting this guy to rank 3, so we'll be able to see some of these skills put to use. Alright. So with our increase in speed now, our weapon is giving a 14% boost to speed. And again, that's because of the bounties on our witch root, the ranged weapon. And right now our guardians can only consume 1 plant per day, but there are upgrades that can increase that in the Tree of Life. So I'll give this 1 more turn. Or I could just equip this. Or not, yeah. Forgot. Our tank has eaten as much as he can for the day. I'll probably just sell that. Alright, this Shadow Silk, very valuable here. It will give a 14% boost to dodge. So now our tank has a 26% chance to dodge, which is pretty nice there. And I can keep increasing the speed of this guy as well. And our vampirism plant here has maxed out its bounty. Unlock another slot here. So any of these ones with the health icons gain bounty from each other. And right now I'm trying to save all the plants just so we can stack everything onto our DPS and our tank here. And once we have more plants coming through, we can maybe start building our other guy up here. So this is the final encounter, stage 1 here. I think we should be able to do it. Our tank has been outfitted with enough stuff, I think. And we got some nice damage coming in from our ranged guys. So for that we got another plant here. So this one will be pretty good for our tank sort of character here. Blessed protection will make him immune to debuffs. So very useful so they don't get poisoned or bleed on them, because that reduces their health by a percentage of their health. So the more health he has, the more he'll get damaged by that. But if he has this, we don't need to worry about it at all then. So now here he has the open slot with no skill, and next round, or whenever we have this ready, we can give him a new skill there. So for now I'll set it. No. For now I'll set it right there. And one thing I can actually do is compost one of those plants and use the instant grow ability to get this grown. So now next day I can give him a new ability. Oh, and we have a legendary seed packet available now. If we get enough money, that's probably a good one to get. Entrapment. Another skill plant here. Recovery plant, regen plant. These increase the amount of health regenerated by your guardians every day. So this is a pretty significant increase to how much they'll be healing. It might be good to get on our tank here, who only has 2.8 regen right now, so they won't be full by the time the next encounter comes around. And for now we could put a plant there, so we get our gust oats here, our speed plants, bounty to need. And at this time I can also increase the crit rate of our DPS character. Alright, now we can equip our new skill here, immune to debuffs. That'll be a really useful one in some of these fights. Alright, and that basically shows off, I think, a load of the features to look forward to in this game. If I go to the main menu real quick, I can show off some of the other features here that are now unlockable. So now from that playthrough we already gained 53 essence, and we can see in the Tree of Life we can now purchase a few things. This is a great one to get here. Specify the type of evolution plant gained. So if we have one of those levels, we can go to specification, and here we can see all the different skills that are available in the game. And right now, by default, a random plant is selected, but with that upgrade we can now change the first evolution seed we get from an encounter into a specific one of our choice. So one I'm a fan of is the taunt ability. So if the guardian is targetable, enemies will always fire against them, and at times that they wouldn't be targetable if they have the taunt ability is if they're in a ranged slot, and the enemy is a melee character, because the melee characters can only attack other melee characters until the enemies or the opponent's melee characters have all been killed. But in general, if you have a character with taunt in the front line, they will always attack the person with taunt then. And other than that, there are the ability to blacklist different plants, and the ability to blacklist specifically evolution plants, different skills that you might not want to get. And another nice thing is in the archive, this is the current run we're on. You can visit this within the game scene as well, but they show the stats on the different seed packets you've bought, as well as the button here for the Tree of Life tells you which skills are active in that current game. So while we just purchased a new upgrade and can use that now, the game we are currently playing does not have those upgrades unlocked. But over here it also shows how many times you've used an ability, how many pots you've bought, rocks, all the different uses for the plants, as well as our characters over here, and you can hover over them and see their weapons again as well. And this tells down here how many special resources we've gained throughout it, as well as the other options we may have selected. And up at the top here it says the progress in the game that we've made. And since we're playing on easy, we get a regular amount of life resources from it, and every encounter happens on the 4th day. At other difficulties, just to show off the tutorials here, oh, wrong button. To show off the tutorials here, the difficulty changes like this. The harder the difficulty, the fewer days between combats, but the greater rewards you'll get. Alright, and as long as you haven't started a new game, you can always return to the game that you were playing, and it'll leave off in the same spot unless combat had already been started. And again, you can view your info within the current game if you would like to. Alright, and with that, that is the first preview of this game here. I hope you like it, and I hope you'd be interested in checking it out as well. Thank you.